we are pushing forward.
The member's time has expired. The member for Bendigo has the call.
Thank you, Deputy Speaker. And I have to say, are this mob opposite serious? They have spent this entire debate, this entire MPI, which is about the government promising innovation but cutting education, talking about their defence paper. Now, here's a newsflash for those opposite. If you want to build a sub, you need an engineer. If you want to build a sub, you need a few tradespeople. Nobody in this country is just born an engineer. Nobody in this country is just born as a tradesperson. You actually need skills. Unless the government wants to import workers through a 457 visa system, you need to train people. And I know this because in my electorate we build the Bushmaster. In my electorate we build the Hawkeye. And that contract that the minister was so proud to promote today was built by Australian men and women in Bendigo who have skills. People who went to La Trobe University based in Bendigo, but guess what's happened to that university? This government has cut its funding. People who helped build the Bushmaster and the Hawkeye went to the Bendigo TAFE to help get their apprenticeship. But what has this government done? It has cut funding to the Bendigo TAFE. In fact, it has cut $1 billion from skills. $1 billion from skills. So it's a bit hard and a bit rich to stand up here and rant about how great your white paper is if you've got no ability and no capacity to ensure you have people with the skills to do those jobs. If you are that serious about all the innovation going on in the white paper, then you better start turbocharging your investment in education and not cutting your investment in education, because that is all we have seen from this government. They have cut funding, vital funding from schools, and schools in the region will be the hardest hit. Our schools in the regions, our small schools, our schools with low SES communities, our schools with high proportions of children from non-English speaking background or Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander background would have been the biggest winners. Yet this government has cut the critical years from that plan, years 5 and years 6. This government has cut the resources that they need to ensure that their schools have the tools and the resources to be able to ensure those kids have a future. What this government is doing today in this parliament is simply ignoring. To have defence capability, you need people who have the skills and the education, and this government has cut those critical steps and pillars to ensure that Australians will get those job opportunities. We want to make sure that we have a world-class education system where every student, regardless of postcode, gets a good education so they can choose a career in a number of areas. Maybe somebody wants to go into defence, good on them, but maybe somebody wants to become a scientist working for the CSIRO. Maybe they want to get actively involved in climate change. Maybe they want to help our farmers understand climate change so that they can have crop rotation that suits our climate. Under this government, their chances of doing that have been diminished because of the savage cuts that they've made to institutions like the CSIRO and critical areas of research. If you watch this parliament today, you would think that there is only one responsibility of federal government, and that's defence. It is important, but it is not the only role of federal government. We are not currently in a situation where we only have defence as an opportunity in this country. We have an amazing community out there with a lot of opportunity. And in our communities, we need to make sure that our schools have the resources that they need to do a good job. We have schools in the Bendigo electorate that are making the tough choice between a teacher aide and watering their oval. That's what's happened because of the cuts from this government. We have students right now choosing which university they'll go. OWIC is this week, working out where they'll stay, struggling to find the resources, struggling to make sure that they've got enough money to be able to do the education, to be able to enrol and invest in education like they want. There's a question about whether the next generation of university students will actually be able to qualify and have the skills that they need in our universities. This government's plan is failing schools. They will stand up here, they'll rant day in, day out about how great they are at defence, but will not have an honest conversation with the Australian people about how their children could get those opportunities. This government needs to reverse its funding cuts to schools, to higher education. It needs to get serious about skills and invest in the next generation.